Welcome back to the New Retired Me. My name is Tim. In case you are here for the first time or fairly new, I don't actually say that very often. Today, I wanted to give just a brief update on the state of this channel. We'll talk about things like the revenue we've made over the last couple of years. We'll talk about changes to how we're doing affiliate marketing. We'll talk about the community posts. We'll talk about the Aspiring Content Creator Grant just a little bit. We'll talk about just a number of things. So, and I'm going to put timestamps down below. So if there's something you're not interested in and you want to skip to something else, be very easy for you to do that. So let's get started. So one of the first things that I will just remind you of is that in the description of every single video on this channel, there is a link to the online New Retired Me Printify store. If you'd like a coffee mug or a baseball cap or a t-shirt, that's there. I don't advertise it very often. I've lost way more money than I've made. I think my revenue so far for that channel has been about $150, and I've got a little over $1,000 in expenses. So, at that rate, it's going to take a long time for it to be profitable. But it was something that was requested, and the reason that the expenses are so high is because I order every single item after it's designed to check the quality before I put it out in the store. Also, I mentioned not too long ago that YouTube has changed their communities tab. A lot of creators may just leave it the way that it was. In the old communities tab, you would know it more as posts. And so in the old communities tab, I would create a post as the channel owner, and other people can reply to that post. In the new Communities 2025, which was just rolled out and which I have approved, now anybody can create a post for this channel. So if you have a question or if you've got a comment that you'd like other people to sort of chime in and help you with, for instance, we talk a lot on this channel about minimalism and decluttering, and if you've got a question about decluttering that you would like the community of this channel to respond to, you can ask that question in the post section. Now, it also gives an opportunity, at least for me, I haven't tried it out with other people, I can create a post that is only seen by the channel members. And I have done that at least once, but most of the posts that I will do will be to everyone. Which brings me to memberships. As I mentioned before, memberships on this channel are now open. You'll get 2 extra videos a month plus 1 extra live stream. We did the live stream from Savannah. It was a total disaster, but it was there, and we learned a lot. And I have done 1 video so far, so I'm working on the second video to post before the end of the month. And then we'll roll that over to next month. Memberships are $1.99, and all of the funds from memberships go to fund the Aspiring Content Creator Grant that I put an advertisement to right here at the beginning, but after July 4th, that advertisement will be gone, and you won't have any clue what I'm talking about because the applications close on July 4th. So we have all of that. Now let's get into the meat of what people are really interested in. And so we're going to look at some analytics. And one of the analytics that we'll look at is revenue. Now I've done like what I got paid after 6 months and what I got paid after a year. This is all my videos combined for the lifetime of the channel. And I did this, I don't know, maybe 5 days ago before I made this video. So it's pretty up to date. But you'll see, I've got this screen up here for you to look at. The channel itself has received over 4 million views. I don't even know where to start with that, but that's phenomenal. It has 387,000, almost 388,000 watch time hours. You have to have 4,000 watch time hours to qualify for AdSense revenue and 1,000 subscribers. And I have 60,000 subscribers. Now, the subscribers we'll talk about again in a minute, but we've been sort of going up and down at the 67,000 mark for a while now. And I would love to see that start shooting up. My goal is to get to 100,000. Doesn't really do anything for me as far as revenue, but it gives me that treasured little plaque I can put on the wall behind you when I make my videos that says, I have arrived. And you'll see that the total revenue for both years combined is almost $29,000. It's $28,721.38. Now, the way Google AdSense works, of course, is I get paid so much per 1,000 views on a video, and every video is different. So I have some videos where I made $10 or $11 per 1,000 views. And I have other views where I made $2.50 per 1,000 views. So it's not a locked in amount. It's based on, here's this pool of advertisers that Google has who are willing to pay so much money. And here's my content and the viewers that typically watch my content. What did those viewers most likely want to see that will give Google the most amount of money and thereby me the most amount of money? Everything is based on you. And we'll come back to that again in a minute. So you can see here when I'm looking at this graph, you'll see those two really high peaks over there at the beginning of the channel. That was my first two very viral videos. And actually, as you can see, they're my only viral videos. So here are the top 5 videos on my channel. You will see, obviously, how to declutter 35 years of stuff is still my top. It has 1.2 or 1.1, almost 1.2 million views. That still blows my mind. Now, taking over second place, this is a new second place video, is cooking a chuck roast like a ribeye steak. And I'm just going to be honest, again, it is the absolute worst cooking video I've ever made. I made so many mistakes in this video, calling it prime choice, talking about the way the meat was cooked, I don't know, different things. And here we are. That was in August of 2023. We're coming up on 2 years for that video, and I am still getting comments of, dude, there's no such thing as prime choice. Yeah, okay, I know. But it doesn't stop people from watching. And then what YouTube paid me for 1 month of being monetized. So that big spike at the beginning and the secondary spike at the beginning, that's those two videos, decluttering 35 years of stuff and what I was paid for the first month of being monetized. And then you'll see a video called Everything is Clutter, and that video is no longer available on my channel. I had 120,000 views when it was brought to my attention that I had plagiarized quite a bit from John Becker. Didn't know that I had, but my AI notes had done that. And I just could not in good conscience keep that video up. So that video was viewed 120,000 times. It made me almost $1,000. And that $1,000 has been rolled over to the Aspiring Content Creator Grant. I don't even want to keep that money. That's why we have 3 grants available in 2025. And then the dark side of minimalism. I kind of thought when I made that video that it might get some views, and it's done quite well. Now, you will also notice that the average view time for each of those videos is quite low. 40%, 27%, 34%, 32%. The big analytic to look for is what happens after the first 30 seconds. If I still have 70 to 75% of my viewers after the first 30 seconds, the video is going to perform fairly well. But if those viewers fall off at a higher rate than that, and I think I might have a slide in here about this, if I can't keep viewers after 30 seconds, YouTube is like, there's nobody that wants to watch your stuff, dude, and we're not going to show it to anybody. Because again, it's not about the content that I make. The title has a little something to do with it. The thumbnail has a little something to do with it. The quality of the audio obviously has something to do with it. But the bottom line for getting views and getting paid is you. If you watch, my video will do well. If fewer of my regular viewers, not subscribers, but fewer of my regular viewers are not watching, then YouTube is like, nobody's going to be interested. We're not going to show your video much. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. So this is the content graph for my channel. These are the numbers of views per day that my channel gets. And you'll see again, those first two big, huge peaks are those two videos we just talked about. And then basically nothing. And that little tiny peak over there on the right, that's the video that I deleted. And you'll see that as you taper off to the right, those views get smaller and smaller and smaller. So here's what's happening on my channel. At some point after the first of the year, I don't remember exactly when, I made the decision to cut back on the number of videos that I'm making every week. I make a Life in Motion diary video on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I post a photography video on Tuesdays, and I post videos here on Thursdays. I was posting Tuesdays and Thursdays here. Something had to give for me to be able to do the work I wanted to do across all three channels. So I went from 2 videos a week to 1 video a week, and the views obviously dropped because there's less to view. And then during the month of June, I put up several videos that just did nothing. My videos will typically get 3,000 to 4,000 views. I got one that's got 500 views after being up 3 weeks. So, I made videos that my regular viewers didn't really want to see. And so the views dropped down tremendously. So again, you can see that this is the monthly audience. On June, I had about 27,000 people coming to my channel to look at videos. Now, they're not looking at June's videos. They're looking at how do you get rid of 35 years of stuff and how do you cook a pot roast like a steak. But they're still coming. But here I wanted to show you that on this channel, what the audience looks like after 2 years. And that is that, I have an older audience. Not surprising. And I have many more female audience participants than I do male. You'll see I've got 62% are female and only about 40%, 38% are male. And in watch time hours, it's even more women than it is men. Women are staying online watching the video longer than the men are. But you'll also see down here, from 55 years and older, or even 45 years and older, that is the major bulk of my viewers. Now, this is the thing that gets me. This happens to every creator. It's not just my channel. But the number of views I get from people who don't subscribe compared to the number of views I get from the people that do subscribe. So I have 60,000 subscribers, And that means jack squat when it comes to who's watching my channel. It's a nice little metric to put up there if people's looking at my video and they're like, well, who is this guy? And they're like 66,000 subscribers. Well, somebody must like him. I'll watch his video. That's about as far as it goes. So 73% of the people who watch my videos never subscribe. So if you could imagine, if I could just boost the subscribes from those people just a little bit, I could get to 100,000 subscribers pretty quick. So if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? The button is right down below. And then again, you'll see here is the people who have subscribed and turned on all notifications. And the average on YouTube is between 10 and 30. So I'm on the low end of that. And then, the people who have turned on all notifications and enabled notifications, a little different there, is 7.5%, about 4,500 people. And you can see that's at the low end of average for across YouTube as well. This is a really, really interesting statistic. Out of all the shorts, I think it's 3 that I've posted on my channel. I've made $1.73. Shorts do not make money unless you get 1 million views. They just don't. So I haven't really invested the time in shorts yet, but I recently updated my DaVinci Resolve to the studio version when it paid for the professional version. And it has some stuff added to it that might make making shorts from my already existing content a little easier to do. So I might do that as an attempt to see, does that draw in any new viewers to my channel? We'll see. I have enabled gifts and super chats and that kind of thing. And so far, there have been 12 people that have done that, usually during the live streams. But I get some in the comments of a video as well, where people will donate something. And so I've got $43.98 out of that 28,000 number. That's part of that number. So to those who have done that, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You'll see it's only been really sort of from the beginning of the year. And as of right now, we have 13 members. I would love to get to a minimum of 50, but right now we're at 13, which is $17.91 in money to the content creator grant. Out of the $1.99 that it costs, of course, they're going to add tax on that for you. So it's probably more like $2.15 or something. I don't remember. I get about $1.30 of that. So I'm not getting the full $1.99. Google is keeping part of that. But I've sort of built that into what I need. Every grant that we give is $500. I'd love to get as close to $500 in members as possible. That's over the year, not per month. God help me, Jesus, I don't want it every month. But over the course of the year. So, it doesn't take that many subscribers or that many members to get there. And again, this is total revenue. We've already talked about this, just to remind you. And also that comes to me in the form of a self-employed, sort of a 1099 kind of thing, but it's a 1099R or 1099CR. I forget what it's called. And so I have to pay taxes out of that. Now, thankfully in Tennessee, we don't have any state taxes, but I do have to pay income tax on that, for federal taxes. So, that's, 25% or something like that. And so I mentioned before about that first 30 seconds. So if you'll look here at these videos, the ones that are above typical, okay, that are still watching after 30 seconds, the open hands, open space, the one with Henry Nouwen's kind of philosophy, I'm so glad people kept watching that. That was a video of love, that video. I love Henry Nouwen. And then the apology video that I did on having to take down that video for plagiarism, that's there. And then, you can kind of see how. Now, the ones who got below typical, an affiliate video on the Opus battery, my video for the aspiring content creator application being open, that has just over 500 views. And only 50% of the people out of those 500 views were still watching after 30 seconds. So obviously I'm not connecting with a lot of people about this grant. It's still a labor of love for me, and I'm still going to do it. And then another affiliate, and then another affiliate, and another affiliate. So you can kind of see why I wanted to get rid of affiliate videos, because not only were fewer people watching them, and fewer people were on after 30 seconds, which meant they weren't getting shared anyway, but I was making literally no money from most of them. Made a little money from the Opus battery, made a little money from the IceCo refrigerator, nothing from the Hovsco bike videos. So you can kind of see, there's a lot of work for no reward. And so that's why I went with memberships. Now, I had a few questions that I had asked for in a post that I made, and I want to kind of address those questions here at the end of this video. And then we're going to come back right at the end and talk about the overall feeling of analytics. Okay. So Colette asked, I'm interested in your process for ideas, how you get them, how you track them, how much admin work you do outside of producing content, like generating playlists and that kind of thing. Sometimes my ideas come to me while I'm driving down the road, and I think, because most of the videos that get most of the views on my channel are minimalism and decluttering, obviously. I don't want to leave that topic entirely. But it's been done. It's been done to death. And so the question is, what can I talk about that I haven't seen yet? Not that it's not out there, but I haven't seen it yet. What is a twist on that topic? So I sort of just do some thinking about that when I've got a little time on my hands. But also, YouTube Studio has an area that you can go to after you get a certain number of views for your channel. They've got some data to work with. There is this area that you can go to that you can plug in ideas, and it will tell you, based on what your viewers are watching, not YouTube in general, based on what your viewers are watching, this has high interest, very high interest, low interest, very low interest, no interest whatsoever. And so almost always videos about minimalism or decluttering, very high interest. Videos about single traveling overseas, life around Chattanooga, very low interest. So I know if I make one of those videos, I'm probably not going to have much success with it as far as views or finances go, but still, it's something that I want to do and a video that I want to make. So ideas sort of come from there. As far as the admin side, obviously this video, however long it takes, the video is probably about 10 minutes longer than that because I've had to cut out coughing and cut out looking at my computer screen and cut out other stuff. So there's the editing side of things that usually takes a while, and the exporting and the uploading and trying to find a title that's engaging and trying to find just the right thumbnail. And, those kinds of things do take time. And I take more time with this channel than my other two channels. And so this channel, even though I'm only doing one video a week most of the time, I spend a lot more time here than I do anywhere else. Going Green Mom says, it still boggles my mind. It's been 2 years, maybe not for this video, but it would be interesting to see what your kids think. Well, I have asked my kids. I have 3 daughters, and I said, I had this request. Would you be interested in being interviewed about what you think about this channel? And all 3 said They would love that. Well, that's not entirely true. They all said they were willing to do it. So I will be in the process of recording those interviews and putting that video together. You'll see it in the next 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully. What would you do differently if you just retired today? I think, well, if I'm going back to when I did retire, I think that I would take more advantage of things to do nearby. I've sort of teetered on, there's a band playing at the Tivoli. Should I go? Should I not go? There's a play that's going on. Should I go? Should I not go? The Friday night concert and Saturday night concerts during the summer. Do I want to make that drive? Do I want to fight that crowd? I think if I had it to do again, I would be outside more than I am now, doing things for fun and not for YouTube. Marnie says, in general, which topic that you video has the most interest and which topic makes the most money per view? I've sort of answered this question already. Obviously, minimalism and decluttering are the ones that get the most views. And they probably are the ones that also get me more money per 1,000 views because it is such a highly sought after topic across all of YouTube. My cooking videos, other than that pot roast video, they get decent views, not a whole lot. The camping videos get a few views. Travel videos don't do well, but I love making them. And I'll just throw this out here. I made this mention in a live stream the other day on my Life in Motion Diaries channel. When I go to Scotland in October, rather than trying to put together video content every day so that I can make a video, I'm going to do a live stream on the Life in Motion Diaries channel every day of my trip. And so that will probably be, it'll be 30 to 45 minutes. It won't be long. Just an opportunity to kind of show people around where I'm at, what the trip was like, that kind of thing. And, but I'm putting it over on that channel rather than this channel. Butterfly Meadows Homestead. I'm interested to know if you experienced a decline in views beginning late 2024 as many others did. My channel is not a good barometer of that. Simply for the fact that I have cut back on the number of videos I'm producing. But here's what I can tell you about the algorithm. This is what little bit I know. And that is that the algorithm is tied specifically to the viewer, not tied to you or your content. It's tied to the viewer. What do they want? What are they watching? And how are those watch patterns changing? So I'm not sure that the algorithm is changed such that it is not showing your content anymore as a strike against you. It could be that your viewers, my viewers as well, have now moved to other things they're watching. Now, I see a dip every year. Both years I've seen a dip in December. People is during the holidays, they're out there shopping, they're having office parties, they're doing all this kind of stuff. They're on YouTube much less during December. So both years I did see a decline there. But the algorithm is designed. If you've got a viewer out here who's watching your content and you show them another video at the end of your video, or you give them a playlist to watch at the end of your video, and they stuck around long enough to see it, that's about 30% of my overall viewers stick around that long, and they click on another video, that boosts your viewing a lot because that viewer is now binging your content. And so it's going to get recommended to like like-minded viewers. Not across all of YouTube, but to the people like that viewer who like the kinds of things that viewer likes are more likely to see your content. If there is nothing there to guide them to the next thing, YouTube might show your one of your videos next, or it might go off to another channel somewhere. I get that a lot. So it is in Google's best interest, because they're the only ones that matter. It's in Google's best interest to offer content the viewer is already wanting to see. And if your content doesn't match that any longer, for whatever reason, it's going to get shared out less. It's happened to me. It happens to me on some of the content that I create. I don't expect every video to get 50 or 60,000 views. I feel very comfortable if I get 2,000 to 3,000 views. I feel like I have, made something that is typical for my channel. When it takes a week to get 800 views, I know that regular viewers on my channel are interested in that video, and YouTube is not going to share it because it's looking for who's watching and who else is like them that might also like to watch it. So, there's a lot to be said for putting keywords in your title or in your thumbnail or in the body of your description so that if somebody is specifically searching something, they might stumble across your content. But that is the least effective way to get views, in my opinion. The most effective way to get views is to make something your regular viewers want to see, and YouTube will do the heavy lifting for you to get other people to at least be alerted that it's there. So yeah, my content has gone from, because I went from 2 videos a week to 1, and because I made videos very few people actually want to see, where I used to be able to balance it. I was doing the lesser interested topics on Tuesday and the more interesting topics on Thursday, and I was getting, a bounce there. Now I'm doing it all on Thursday, and it's sort of a mishmash. My revenue has gone from $1,100 to $1,200 a month to this month I just got paid, and it's $480. That's the new normal for me. That was a decision on my part to make a change on my channel to save my sanity. All right, that's it for today. I hope that you have enjoyed learning a little bit about what's going on with the channel. If you got questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. And don't forget, community is opened up there. And if you want to post a question to the entire community and not just to me, feel free to do that. Just remember to play nice, be kind to one another, and we'll see you in the next video.